Right, hello everybody and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports Thursday night, which means it's the fan forum, and I've got a bit of a new look panel because Riaan is back from his various
Hello,
travels and
I'm alive.
sabbaticals and stuff. Yeah, good to see, and Reese has taken the evening off, and as usual, Chris is here to make us money. Um, so we
Yeah,
love your work there, Chris, and yeah, looking forward to seeing what you got
yeah.
for
It's
us.
only one losing week in the 8-9 weeks. We'll take it. We've been marching on.
Yeah, well, it's insane. And I'm interested. And this weekend, we seem to be all in on the Super Rugby. So, is this just the case where we decided to stop betting on finals and your Leinsters and stuff like that because they've been biting us in the arse a bit lately?
Correct.
Okay, fair enough.
Correct.
Fair enough.
Correct.
Okay, so we stuck to Super Rugby.
And to be honest, also we use Betco's and they're not really new. We've got the markets that are available to me at Showtime, So it does limit what's available on the Curry Cup and the other competitive Euro season, English Premier during the season. So, but no, Super Rugby is one of my favorites. One of my most successful anyway. So there's still loads of confidence there. So happy to roll.
All right, cool. We're going to check it out a bit later in our betting segment. But coming up in the show, we're going to have to dissect the most mental comeback we saw last weekend. Cheslin Colby, man of the match performance in the Challenge Cup final. URC final this weekend. Lots and lots going on. And yeah, for those of you who are stumbling upon the channel, make sure you subscribe to the channel and smash like on the video. If you guys missed it, we did actually pick a World Cup squad over the last sort of month, and today we picked the final 23. So
It's bad luck, eh? You're gonna jinx, guys. I hope you were touching wood the whole time.
No, it's fine. We're back. We back it. I absolve myself of anything that happens. We nothing that we've ever said ever seems to come true. All the reverse. So yeah, I think we'll be fine. But we picked quite a good 23 actually, so we might even, if we have a bit of time, might even chat about that a little bit as well. But where to begin? I think the only way to begin is La Rochelle, 2 times European champions, back to back.
What a game!
Yeah, mental.
What a game. Yeah.
And we have been told that we're Leinster haters for the last 2 weeks. We've been getting a lot of angry Irish fans in the comments saying that that we don't respect Leinster and that it's all in on this game over the weekend and stuff like that, and we need to show them more respect, which is weird because we backed them to beat Munster and we backed them to beat La Rochelle, and yet we're still called Munster haters. But Christine, as you were on the show last week, not a good time to be a Munster fan.
Leinster, yeah.
Leinster, that one, yeah.
Yeah, well, remember when I initially called us, I thought La Rochelle, all my gut instinct said La Rochelle, and then I have to admit, I did a flipper last week, and I did genuinely call Leinster. I thought it was I thought the cards had fallen, and that this was their plan to put the star on the chest, and they were going to go all out, and then obviously saw the first 12 minutes looked like it was Cadova's, and they played as beautiful and best Leinster rugby that's what we expect, or like pretty much all the time. But La Rochelle are bloody street dogs, man. They're street smart. Rog knows what he's doing with those boys. That team is well balanced. Then everyone, as I said, if they play what they do best, I said they could win, but I just thought it was just Leinster's time. But then they just gradually kept growing into the match, and you could start, that first try goes in and that second try goes in, and that second half was just all Leinster and La Rochelle, and then at the end, it was just beautiful. Like I hardly ever, there's few games of rugby I never miss a year. Like I don't think I ever miss a Six Nations game or a Tri-Nations game or Springbok game, but the European Cup final is a game I never miss because just the drama is often there. But yeah, I must admit, I actually do feel sorry for Leinster. If I was a Leinster fan, I have a few Leinster fans as well. I actually haven't heard from them yet this week. It was drama. Yeah, no, that was brutal. That was brutal. Also, like I let Toa at the end there. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, it's just that was just the brain fart. They were there. I don't know I thought they were going to score. Just had to be. That's what I was talking about. I sort of said last week, and I know I got called out for it, but I think if Sexton was on that field in the second half, I'm not saying it wouldn't have made a difference, but that guy coaches, reads the plays. I think Leinster might have been a little bit cooler and more structured in that, so like just more focused. Maybe I don't know. I just feel he was a guy that Leinster needed in that last 7 minutes, and he wasn't on the field. But wow, yeah, I love being watching those. That's what we love. That's what I love rugby. We love for games like that. So well done. I mean, well done to La Rochelle. I mean, geez, yeah, unlucky Leinster.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one now because, as I said, they're now 2 seasons without a trophy, and I put a video out, I think it was yesterday, and basically said that their season has been a failure because for their standards, they've got to be winning silverware, and for example, and somebody would very sort of sarcastic commented, oh well, by your standards, that means everybody that didn't win the URC or the Champions Cup, their season was a failure, but. Different strokes, different folks. For example, as a Lions fan, if we'd made the Champions Cup, I would have said that that would have been a massive success for us. But for Leinster, yes, they've made a final, and yes, they lost within 1 point. But a club of that size, a club of that sort of those players, stuff like that, anything less than silverware for me is a bit failure. It's a bit like when the Boks go to the World Cup this year. If we don't win, it's a failure. At the end of the day. And Riaan, your sort of take on all the action and stuff like that, and what was going on.
I loved every second of it. Well, except maybe the first 10 or so minutes was, I think, perfect rugby. I said it myself earlier the week. I don't think since 2019, when England played the All Blacks in that semi-final at the World Cup, that's the last time I saw a team playing that well, that efficiently, that structured, know exactly where you have to be, where the next play is going to take place, where the next ruck is going to be. It's like they could see 3 phases ahead at the start of that game. It was amazing to watch. And then it's almost like they ran out of puff for a little bit because they were people often don't realize that to run a support line, to get into position to do the fake line or the unders line or anything, it takes it out of you. It's not just defense. So I think they might have gassed themselves a little bit. And then La Rochelle just did what they do. Like Chris said, that forward pack is smart, not just massive. They know what they're doing. Gregory Aldrit was like an octopus. It had 8 hands. He was all over the place. And it was just lovely to see them just slowly, gradually work themselves into the game. And second half, like I said, I think they were in the La Rochelle 22 for 22 seconds, the entire second half almost. Just that final bit where they were camping before Alatoa's red card. And I've seen it as well that there was a few times where Ross Byrne was setting up, looking like he wanted a drop goal, and what's the name, Gibson Park was playing in the other direction. And you would think if Johnny Sexton was there, he would be taking charge and he would be saying, bring it where I want it. And it almost feels like the guys don't listen to Ross Byrne. Like they're like, where's Johnny? I'm not going to listen to you. If Johnny tells me to pass it that way, I'll do it. Otherwise, I'm running the play. And it just seemed that they didn't they weren't on the same page to try and win that game at the end, and just too desperate to keep the ball. And Alan Alatoa just brain fart. But it wasn't the first ruck he went into like that. There's about 4 or 5 rucks that you could see where he went full Superman into the ruck. And, because he didn't nearly kill someone, Paper was like, no, I must be fine. Carry on, boys. And it all ended badly after that.
Yeah, Jaco Paper, very, very topical name at the moment. Apparently, halftime bust-ups. We're hearing about coaches getting involved, Scouts getting involved. Apparently now Johnny Sexton getting involved after the game. And it's been quite interesting to see the reaction because obviously now, South Africans have been branded the ref bashers and Russell obviously has banned and stuff like that. Now all of a sudden, rugby's untouchable sweetheart, Johnny Sexton, I wouldn't say it was a sweetheart, but somebody who just doesn't seem to ever be punished for anything he does. That's something he always seems to be in the ref's ear, never seems to be punished or to be sort of reprimanded for it. As all of a sudden has had a bust up with a referee who will actually be at the World Cup as well. And a lot of calls for a potential ban for him, for example, or at least as some sort of sanction from World Rugby. Chris, is there any chance that Sexton is going to get anything from it?
No. No, but I look, I mean, I mean,
It's still under
I'm
investigation, right?
very,
They
I admit
actually like
Yeah.
investigating this whole thing, so there can be nothing or something.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't actually notice paper, and I can't. That's a bit unfair because I'm quite a hectic ref basher, must be honest. And I see bad decisions. It's actually a game I would like to go back and rewatch actually because I've heard all of this, and obviously there was an issue at halftime, but I didn't see it. I saw a game of two halves really, of what 20 minutes and 60 minutes, and I was just saying, I wonder. I was just wondering, like, did Leinster stop playing, or were La Rochelle that good? Because Leinster started to make mistakes. You know, Gibson Parky was phenomenal in the first 20 minutes. Started to make mistakes. The backs, they just complete. Were they trying to defend that set? Did they think, wow, basically have we won this in 20 minutes and step back, or are La Rochelle just that yellow machine that are like, yeah, well, we'll see you later, maybe we'll see about that, and just made Leinster just not get back into it. Was that? I mean, I do recall a lot of. Is Yako getting bashed because of from Leinster fans or obviously Leinster fans? Because I'm pretty sure I saw a lot of La Rochelle go into their half and getting penalised a lot. So I'm trying to work out what was it, the yellow card? I don't know. I haven't actually scrutinized his performance, and I probably should because I'm critical of refs when I see games and they've had an influence on it.
I think most people were saying that
I just like I know
he was letting things go at the ruck is what I saw people say, that he was allowing a lot of side entries. He was allowing the little missile over the top.
Yeah, I think I saw that as well.
So I think he was like,
well, he didn't really.
Yeah, he wasn't penalizing.
He
much.
didn't even blow up the yeah, I mean, even the red card at the end,
Yeah,
he
it was
didn't
a TMO
initially
into
blow it as
yeah.
foul play. The guy was basically dead. He was still kind of, he stopped play, right? Because
Yeah, he had to because only because they were going to run into him type thing. It wasn't the case, and somebody eventually sort of got to him that this guy's like out of the count, like we have to stop the.
Yeah, I don't think he really knew the guy was gone until he turned around. Yeah, and he saw.
I mean, I think we all rugby for. Yeah, I mean, we have our tribes, we're all rugby people, but it is a bit disappointing sometimes how fans react. I mean, book fans are just as, what I'm hearing from Leinster fans and the book fans are just as bad. We have to put our hands up.
Yeah.
We love to make excuses. We hate to be criticized. But what is getting to me is this Leinster fans is like you can't criticize. They really get their backs up like really badly. You can't say, well, actually, I don't think Leinster's gonna win today. It's like, how dare you say that? Or it's like
that was them last week. As soon as we said, it might be a close game. No, it's not gonna be a close game. No, it's gonna be easy. We're gonna hammer them. Like, so, whoa.
A sense of excellence. They will only take excellence. There's no.
But book fans are the same.
Yeah, we have high standards.
My fans, so I'm not going to get on a high horse here and be like, it's a tough. We're so passionate about our teams, and when our teams do well, like the All Blacks, and I think the New Zealanders lately as well, the fans have been crazy, been going off their heads at the latest New Zealand performances. So we're all the same, I suppose.
Yeah.
No, I think I don't think anything's going to happen from that perspective. It just would be interesting to see because
imagine it comes out and they like, okay, Sean O'Brien is not allowed in a coaching box because he was the bouncer at the door. Johnny's not allowed to. He must set out
a couple match ban. Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine the fallout if 3 or like Skelton is suspended because he was involved as well. If those guys are all suspended.
Hashtag justice for Rassi.
But I don't know if you guys know, a lot of people are saying a lot of this stuff is creeping into rugby. We talk about it being the gentleman's game, and
we simulation as well.
Yeah, and apparently the niggles and the what's I don't know what the right word is, but this pettiness and off the ball and off the field stuff is creeping into our game, and more back chat, disrespect to refs. I think we need to watch this closely because I think it's starting to creep into our game, sadly, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and I think rugby fans, and as someone who's a very multi-sport fan, I think rugby fans love to sort of sit on a high horse and talk about how well-behaved rugby players are, and that there's none of this behavior that you see on football fields and stuff like that. But I think you're right. I think in the last 2 years at least, there's been far more backchat towards ref. There's been far more sort of niggles in between players and stuff like that, and more than
Since
just sort
like
of,
what, the 2021 Lions series around
yeah,
there.
yeah. No, it's and I wonder what happened during the time to really spark it. It's
Yeah.
interesting. We'll never
Who
know, I
opened
guess.
Pandora's box?
But yeah, as I said, one of
Yeah,
those unsolved
exactly.
mysteries,
Exactly.
unfortunately. But
Did
yeah,
you,
and it's
did
been
you,
interesting to see
did
how
you,
it's going to
did you
happen
see
in
that?
the World Cup.
Yeah. Did you see the podcast? There's a rugby pass with Ryan Wilson, and he was having a big baby about Cheslin Colby not kicking the ball out.
Yeah.
I mean, cheap.
Yeah.
Oh
I love
man,
Ryan
like
Wilson.
come
He's such
on!
a
If you
shit
triggered by that, mate, take it. I mean, I know what you're saying, but I mean, oh, he rubbed the gun on the back of his head, and he was already 30 points up, man. What is he doing? It's like you're one of the biggest little thugs around, you little shit.
It's just part of the game. He was just upset because
Exactly.
Yeah, look, if nothing else, I think that especially, you know, with the growth and how many podcasts and shows and stuff have suddenly popped up, I'm very excited for the World Cup because I just think that the amount of
it's
shit
gonna
takes,
be-
the amount of
Oh,
like
I
cross
cannot
calling
wait. It's
out
gonna be
and stuff,
insane.
it's just gonna be. I'm just waiting for that one. I reckon it's gonna come in the first game. That France New Zealand. I reckon that first game is gonna be a controversial moment, and it's gonna be chaos, and I'm gonna be there for it.
What's it going to be? It's going to be a scrum that is blown wrong, and then props are going at each other or something, and
or like some forward pass that happened that, you know, that led to New Zealand scoring in the final moments or France scoring in the final moments.
Yeah,
And, I can't. I'm in for it. I'm excited. But,
Yeah.
But before then, or stuff like that, we've got to talk about. I actually want to finish with the Stormers. Actually, I think that'll be a nice way. What I want to chat about, and this is interesting. It's been obviously quite topical on this channel in particular because I did a video on Monday. And I'm actually going to deviate from what I was going to talk about. I actually forgot about it. This is the new potential salary cap in South Africa rugby. Now, I did a video on Monday, and I basically said, obviously, in principle, to go up to 85 million from 67.5 million is great. You know, we need to pay our players more. We need to keep our players, and then something up to 95 million. So it's all well in theory, and obviously, no one's going to. I don't think anyone is sitting there saying no. We shouldn't be paying our players more. This season, we're about to see a third Premiership side just basically flop over because of financial issues, and this is where my worry comes. Given the fact, I mean, and I posted on Twitter, and it got a bit controversial where I spoke about somebody was talking about the fact that, you know, how the Stormers have been so phenomenal. I said, well, they've also been administration, and you need to be careful with this kind of thing. What was your guys' initial feeling? I'll go with you. What was your initial sort of reaction when you saw that article about the salary cap increasing?
I was happy. Pay the guys. Pay them in. The thing is, we're still paying. I actually read financial reports. I read the South African Rugby financial report. We're paying 300 million rand a year to be in the URC.
Yeah,
that's going to go away at one point. So all that money we're spending on the URC is going to fall away, and then we are going to be a shareholder in the ERC, and we're going to get money back. Yeah. So it's not just going to go down to zero. It's going to flip and start going positive. So that's money that they've obviously looked at. It's not like they've just said, what do you think we should do? 10 million rand? Okay, sure, let's do that for each club. No, they've obviously done their math and decided, yes, this is what we can afford. This is what we project we're going to make. We can do it. The other thing is everyone's comparing us to the English Premiership. That's, well, up until recently, that was 10 clubs. This is just 4 clubs in South Africa. And
yeah, but they're South African clubs, eh? And we know how badly the lines are run at the moment.
About rands. We're not talking about pounds, you know. So the salary cap they're talking about puts us up to 4 million euro, I think. So we're still
it's
a
pocket
third
change.
of Leinster's budget. We're still under most of the Welsh clubs. Even Benetton is a bigger budget than us. So we're still talking about baby money here, and I think it's affordable. It just, I mean, any system you can put in, if greed is there, it will fall over. You can do the best system in the world. If people are greedy, it will fall over. So this is more about which people are in charge of the money. I'm sure the Lions never even hit the 67 million. So,
and if they have, they're wasting their money.
Yeah,
if that's the spot we've got for 67.5 million rand, then yes.
So no, I'm all for it. You need it. It's not to keep Springboks in the country. It's to keep guys like Chituka, guys like Pepsi Buthelezi. Those guys need to be paid, or they also gone.
Well,
it's not necessarily to spend on Bulldogs. That's my take.
But the Stormers are just going to flip Lamani Libak now for like 500% on investment, right? So to save the day, right? I think we bought him for 100K, or we can sell him for 2 mil now, easy.
yeah, he's off to,
That's the business we're doing.
off to
That's
France.
the business the Stormers are doing. Saving it. I don't know much about financials, to be honest. I don't know if you know, Riaan. Like, full stadium now at Cape Town Stadium, full stadium, sold out tickets all around. Is that what margins are we? Do you know what margins full
That's
stadium
only
make
about
for a union?
that doesn't make them that much money. It pays for the day, and it probably pays for a month's
Even
or
for
two
full stadium.
salaries. Yeah. What makes them more money is when you make a final. I know when the Lions made all 3 finals, they got 5 million rand for coming second. If you won Super Rugby, you got 10 million rand prize money.
You mean the prize fee?
Yeah, and I'm sure the same happens.
The prize fee outweighs the ticket.
Yeah,
the gates.
takes the outweighs
because
the
we're not
take
selling
on the
them for
day.
a lot of money at the moment as well, right? Tickets are not going. They're not.
No, they
Springbok,
won't be making
so
a
they're
ton of
not.
money.
They're almost giving them away at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah. But they've had 3 weekends in a row of nearly being full, so they've made a ton of money already.
Needed it. Probably couldn't come at a better chance.
Well, interesting. Today they're talking about the fact that the new pitch that's being laid, and apparently the cost of the video like 16 million
Thank
rand.
goodness. Sure.
A 50% artificial, 50% grass. So hopefully that'll sort those issues out.
The exact same thing was at Newlands. I don't know if you guys have followed that province rugby that much, but when the Newlands pitch deteriorated badly at one stage, and then they relayed it with the wrong bloody turf. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
It was usually a mud bath, bit of scattering of grass. And then they put new turf down. It was a sand bed. Yeah. And it just ripped up, like even worse than the current Cape Town Stadium. And then the latest pitch was beautiful. So I think if they just pick up Newlands, I'm sure they'll work it out.
They're putting in the same one as Twickenham, the exact same type of pitch.
These the hybrid ones are you don't stuff these 3G ones and crappy. Those hybrid ones are lacquer.
Yeah, and it makes sense with the same one as Twickenham because it's cold and miserable down in Cape Town, so it'll suit the climate.
And didn't England win there last time as well?
Yeah, probably. I think they actually did. Yeah. So, but it'll be cool though because it's such a cool stadium, and that has been the only sort of big red flag about it is the pitch has not been good enough. And for me, that's something that should be fairly controllable. If a stadium falling apart, and that kind of thing, that's a lot of big money. Not always that easy to fix. But I think it's such a cool stadium and such a cool place in Cape Town as well. If they can fix that stadium, then I think it very easily becomes probably actually the best venue in the country, to be honest, from a location and.
I've been there sort of the world. It's so nice there. Greenpoint around that stadium. It's
that on Saturday is going to be it doesn't get better. The Newlands finals were also had a specialist, but this is just as special, really, and that stadium full is. Really good.
That is an interesting point. I wonder how many people are actually still missing Newlands because obviously there was such a. I mean, the Stormers faithful. There was such a big we can't leave Newlands. Like this is our home. This is that. This is that. This is that. Yeah. And I had friends and stuff, and they went to Newlands. They said there's so much history. They said, but the stadium itself is so dated.
There's a little Twitter poll for you. Do you miss Newlands?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to throw that up right now in the comments. Do we miss Newlands?
Yeah, but the Newlands, it was situated in the suburb out next to the brewery. The match days were nice. I think the vibe of Newlands in and around and getting into the quirky ground was special. And we had the sections of fans that were always there. I don't think you get that. It's a bit open in the Cape Town Stadium. You don't get that same intimacy. And so the Newlands experience, I feel, is still better. But the stadium... atmosphere, the match atmosphere in the Cape Town Stadium is better. That makes sense. Game day experience better than Newlands. Experience.
To be fair though, I mean nothing's ever going to compare to being one of 10 people, including Riaan, at Ellis Park on a Saturday night. But it's not a bad second.
Rainy Friday night after work, people still stuck in traffic watching us lose to the Pumas.
Isn't it 7 plus you two and Riza?
Huh?
It's U7 and it's 7 and Riza. You guys and Riza, right? That makes the 10.
No, listen, I mean, I haven't been to the park since before COVID. Actually,
you haven't been to Ellis Park since before COVID. Jeez, I drove past there today.
No, so it's the problem. Ever since I started the channel, it's I've now suddenly I now stay. It's actually sucks. Everybody keeps saying, "So you're going to the park game?" I'm like, no, I'm going to be in my my room, like a Harry Potter box fan. I just sit here in my cupboard under the stairs and watch rugby. But yeah, I need to get back out to the park because it's a cool place when it's full.
Riaan, you guys need to go do a forum. They go sit in the stands. They just put on your laptop.
No one will
reminisce the good old days.
I don't know if the cell phone tower has copper cables left, you know.
Yeah, good old Edis Park. What a stadium.
I love it. It's so rough. It's awesome.
It's still steeped in ish. It's
but I would also be like Newlands. What if they said no? We're building a new stadium.
Oh yeah, no. Off we go
to Dainburn or whatever. I'll be like, blow up Ellis Park. I don't give a shit. Let's go.
We're moving. Pack the trophies. We're out of here. Yeah. And I mean, surely the players as well. It can't be like. I mean, they have to go there every day, and they must be sitting there going, oh, "Guys, this really sucks." Like,
yeah.
But yeah, our conversation for another day. The good old Lions conundrum. Very excited to see where we're going to find the extra money to find the 85 million. Hopefully, once we start getting the money from the URC and we stop having to, subsidize the Stormers, because apparently SA Rugby owes the 3 other URC unions because we have to sit there funding your guys' success.
We didn't even get to the final yet, and you're squeezing in your Lions.
Playing
the violin for you boys. So we haven't even got to the. We were just talking about a stadium, and you had to bring this.
It's not a Stormers URC title. It's a South African URC title because we're having to suffer financially for your game. Especially, I'm actually going to go to the Wikipedia page and add 2 URC or a URC and potentially second URC to the Lions, the honors list. You know, it's a joint title.
No, but that Lions team were all. I mean, those days was 17, 18, that 16, 17, that was a nice team, man. They played well.
Yeah.
It was a pity they didn't get one under the belt.
Side as well and be like, oh, what a team that was. You know?
Yeah, just be careful, because it turns quickly. From experience, it turns quickly. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Well, look, I'm still bitter the Bulls beat us in 2010. I won't lie. I haven't let that go, so I can understand what you guys are feeling like.
Yeah, except we had it 3 years in a row. Anyway, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Let's make some money, shall we, Chris?
Are we ready there? Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've almost been going for basically half an hour already. Time flies when you're talking shit. So talk us through the money maker.
Yeah. So we had a little winning week last week. Another winning week. Not a lot. Only half a unit, but a win's a win. Not going to cry about it. It's better than a smack in the face, as they say. So we had the one double that came in. The under Pacific Crusaders game cruised in. It was like 50 points, and Reds Blues cruised into close to 70 points. So that 1-1, and I can't remember what the one that lost. We don't care about who came second and losers there. But yeah, we there was a 1-for-1, but it was a winning. It's still with the units we wagered. We are up. Just a quick recap on the season. We're 10 wins, 7 losses. But luckily we're having hitting some nice units, bigger unit players that are winning for us. So we're plus now. We've hit over 10. So there's a milestone. We've reached over 10 units profit.
Hey,
and we're going at a
come on.
and we're going at a 54% return of investment, which I'm still going to say is pretty good. We were at 70% at one stage, so we've got a bit down. But 50% we're rocking. We're up there still with the big boys. So may it continue. I've got 3 players for us today. As I said, we are heading towards the end of the season, so we're running out of games, especially games I like to punt strongly. So we're going to use a few units this week on some Super Rugby. First one is a double. Landers versus Reds over 54.5. So I got a little points double, over 54.5 in both the Landers versus Reds game and Rebels versus Force. I mean Reds generally, the Australian teams are just bringing home the points at the moment. Generally they've been compared to all the previous seasons. Rebels versus Force, sorry, that's 54.5. I don't know if what your slide is saying there. These games have been low.
This is your slide. Come here with my slide.
It's your slide.
But does it say 5? If it says 545, it's actually 54.5 for both. So I apologize if it's wrong there. That's what it means. So yeah, we'll go with that. I think there's close to 60 points in both those games. Next one is that's 1.5 units. So that's the stronger play of the weekend. And then we always like to put in a little sneaky treble, put a unit on this one, which is over even money. We've got Force plus 15.5. I think they've been having a much better season, much ticking on nicely, much more consistent than the Rebels, both playing for playoff. So I think giving Force 15 points is a great shout. Drua play Pacifica. Drua are in for a shot of making the playoffs. Pacifica are way out of it. They haven't won yet, but they play in the islands. Pacific Drua have won both the last meetings, but not by more than 15 points anyway. I don't think Pacifica are just going to hand Drua the win. I think there's a lot of pride at play here. So Pacifica to keep it within 22 and a half. And then the Blues play the Canes. No Barrett. So we got Plummer and Beheem in the midfield, which we like to joke and say that they're very much card horses there, and slow their Blues down and how they want to play. But I think if you look at the season, they're very properly evenly matched teams actually head for head. So 14 and a half points is a lot. We'll give the Canes 14 and a half points there. So we've got a little handicap treble there. 1 unit, quite a lot of points we're getting for these teams that I think are quite evenly matched matches. So quite confident on that one. And I thought, let's branch out a bit. We've earned the right to go for a little bit more. We get a little bit greedy. So I've gone for a little Aka, yeah. I backed the Highlanders over 34 and a half last week, and they didn't arrive with the Rebels' atrocious game. But there were changes before kickoff. The centers were changed, which always disrupts. So I have a few excuses there, but I don't expect that to happen this week. Highlanders are playing for their life. I think they've already put 40 past the Rebels and Drua this season, so they're capable of scoring. So I'm going to go and double down and run it back Highlanders again at 34 and a half. So Rebels Force Aussie Derbies are bringing home points. I don't see why it shouldn't happen this week. So let's go over 60 there. That's the line. These are all line caps, by the way. That's what we spoke about previously. This is what the actual bookies are given as the handicap line. Pacifica, as I said, plus 13 and a half, and then the Canes plus 11 and a half. That's not the line cap. I've bought a little bit more points than the Canes, but that's a 8 to 1 Aka, half a unit. So we'll bring home 4 or 5 units there. 4 units if we win, so it'll be pretty juicy if all of them come in. We'll be laughing if they all come in, but at least 1 or 2 of them come in. We'll be really happy. We'll be a decent profit again. So yeah, good luck if you tail in, and yeah, let's bring in another winning week.
Yeah, well, he's not here, so we can say bring in the bacon. So
bring the bacon.
We can say it here. Next week we'll have to go back to being halal, but this week we can say bring back the bacon. Cool, thanks, Chris. And as always, check out the description for the link to their codes and stuff like that. And
so if anyone, just quickly, Steve, if anyone's interested, I have put some early Twitter punts on. I've gone for the Highlanders on the line, like we put in that multiple. So I put that as a single punt as well. I do like that, and I also put Force plus 9 because I think Force are actually a better team than the Rebels this season, and I don't see Rebels getting much separation from Force at the end of the game.
Okay, well there we go, and it's on Twitter there at the Crow Tips. If you guys would like to go and follow Chris and see what he's got to say over the weekend. And as always, Chris, appreciate your work. Looking forward to seeing how we do next week. Right, so we get into the main event. You know, we've had the undercard, we've had a taster in the Champions Cup. Can we have the Stormers as back-to-back champions? Can the Stormers win the URC once again? And we're going to throw it to Riaan for an unbiased opinion before we throw it to the Stormers fan. Riaan, Munster have never lost to the Stormers. And have won away quite a lot this season. In fact, in many ways, there are as many stats that you could pull out to say the Stormers should do the job as there are that Munster should do the job. Where are you leaning towards?
I was leaning towards Leinster because of the home ground advantage, and that didn't work. So I don't know. I have no idea. Both teams have their good players back. The locks for Munster are looking very good. They've got Klein and Snyman ready to play. The Stormers line out with Dweba has been a bit of a shocker sometimes. Sometimes he's perfect. Sometimes he has rough times. So, I don't know. I don't know. I think Stormers, just because they'll have the crowd behind them, they'll be at home. The weather looks like it's going to be cool but dry, which is very important. My heart says Stormers, but if Munster take it, I don't think it would be such a big upset. I think this Munster side is good enough to win. The last match also, my excuse for them winning, for Munster winning in Cape Town last time was, I think the Stormers won their 4th trip from Europe, or between here and Europe, before they played that game. So they were knackered.
And in fairness, that was also a period where we were talking about how the fact that we were actually getting a bit worried about the Stormers in the playoffs because we were saying they weren't looking themselves. They looked really poor against Exeter.
Yeah.
They looked, and then
getting
semi-final, and all
Europe,
of a sudden
come back, lose here, go back to Europe, get smashed there, come back here. So the Champions Cup and all that stuff was happening last time. So that's maybe the excuse I'll say. So then I'll say no. Stormers definitely, they rested, they had home, they should be able to take it.
Yep, no, I think that's not a bad shot. Ty Burton back for Munster is for me a massive one. I mean, I wouldn't say single-handedly.
I did not know he's back. Ooh.
But I mean that
does not lose.
Yeah, that semi-final performance of his was insane. And so Chris, I think not to ask, are the Stormers going to win? How nervous are you? He's speechless. That's how nervous he is.
No. I want to try to say this. I want to try to say what I was saying now, but not sounding too cocky, right? No, so yeah. So look, Stormers at home have been really good, and yes, Munster beat, like we said, Munster beat them, and Stormers were cold. They were cold in Exeter. They were cold in that game against Munster. Okay, Munster dominated. The score was, I think, Stormers scored at the end, so it wasn't even like a thumping. Stormers didn't play well. I do totally respect what Munster have done. I mean, their journey from end of last year to where they've got to has been amazing. But I'm now strictly looking what's happened in the last 4 weeks. And yes, they've won the games, but they won against Stormers, against the cold Stormers. Sharks blew an effing 20-point lead against them. Sharks will put them away, but they came back for that draw. Injuries as well, but they didn't play a full-strength Leinster side. If they did, I don't think they would have won that game. They ran into Glasgow, which clearly we can see now Glasgow wasn't a form team and only beat them by 6 points, but looks like Glasgow fell off the form horse. So for me, what form are Munster really showing, where Stormers have come back and gone ba at home? Bulls kind of strong back to Stormers performances, which I don't think any team in the comp actually can live with. Maybe Leinster full strength.
When the Stormers played Leinster at the RS, Leinster was full strength, weren't they? Or that was
no, they were second. They weren't.
No,
they had changes. It was Stormers were actually full strength.
Yeah. But it was howling wind as well and all that.
It was howling.
And I think Stormers tried to play.
Started kicking up and unders.
Yeah, I was about to say they played a really weird. They had like a whole different sort of game plan. Also, they rocked up with, and it just didn't work.
Yeah, look, Munster have the players, but I don't think Stormers fear Munster. I think they do have revenge, and they might. I didn't like that celebration video because it felt like they might have already won, which is not good. And Munster have characters. They're street smart. Stormers are going to win the game. I'm going to call it that they're going to win the game. I don't think they're afraid of it. The cap's 5 points. There's massive debate where the Stormers win by more than 5 or Munster keep it within 5. I'm going around and I've been trying to keep my heart out of this, but I'm trying to look at it as Stormers at home, a big final, massive crowd. Munster have gone around, and I'm just trying to look at where they really are going to worry the Stormers, and I don't see it. I'm saying Stormers win by 10 to 12 points. That's my call.
10 to 12 points. Well, there you go. You heard it first. From a Stormers fan, 10 to 12 points.
Exactly. It had to be that, no other way. Look, what's also very interesting against Connacht, a lot of us thought it would be a low-scoring game because we thought Connacht were going to come in there and play that tight game, and play the way they're doing, keep it a tight and messy type of game with like Connacht can play, and Stormers would struggle against. But they came out and started spreading the ball and kept themselves in the game. Were ahead in the game, but that blew them out their feet. And as soon as you give Stormers a yard or 2 more than they should, look what happened, right? So I'm going to be very interested. For me, I'm very interested to see what game plan Munster bring into the table. Are they bringing to this, like, we're going to starve the ball from Stormers, or are we going to try and match the Stormers and actually go 80 toe-to-toe with them? I'm going to be quite interested to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
I just don't think you can do that on the pitch, though. It wears you down. I think Stormers probably used to it, but I think that Stormers backline is the best, one of the best backlines in the competition, if not with Leinster's backline.
Yeah, I think for me it'll be interesting to see some of the team stations, for example, like Conor Murray is available for selection once again, but I thought Craig Casey, I mean, he played the full 80 in that semi-final. I thought he was absolutely sensational. So that in itself could be an indication of how they want to play in terms of you go the tactical Conor Murray or the much quicker sort of.
I just think if Stormers are focused, which I think they will be, I think a lot of Fourie is playing, and believe it or not, Lebok has become as crucial as Fourie. If Lebok is on form and kicks his kicks, if Lebok comes in shaky and misses a couple of early penalties, then I think Munster, then it's going down to the wire. But if Stormers get their their game plan rolling, I think eventually they're going to grind up Munster. Like I said, I think they pull away a little bit at the end, like they kind of have been doing. It's hard to live. All the teams have battled to live with, except for them, have battled to live with the Stormers.
Late game, the Stormers are very good.
But that, to be fair, though, from a confidence thing, that last sentence, except for them, be interesting to see. As I said, I think from a mental point of view,
the Stormers were a zombie brain. They were sleepwalking. They weren't playing that game. They're not. You know, there was 20 Stormers and
hey, you don't have to convince us, Chris. You just have to defend yourself next week if you've lost. That's all you have to do.
The main thing I think is, I see in chat they're asking how good is Ergis Snyman. He is very good. He beat the Stormers basically single-handedly last game. He destroys them.
No, he's brilliant.
Yeah, he's great in the scrums as well, and just around the park, he's almost an extra distributor as well. You can give him that around the corner off 9 ball, and you don't know what he's going to do. He's going to smash into you. Is he going to hit you and get the ball out the back? Is he going to pass first? You don't know what that man does. Yeah.
There's a question. Would this Munster team beat the Bulls at Loftus?
The current Bulls?
Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think they would.
Yeah. They have a better pack. I think they have a more mature, a better pack, and a midfield that they actually know who their first team is. The Bulls, you wouldn't even know what 10 is being picked in a game like that. Yeah. So I think they could be
doing this. And who's the ref? Is it? I didn't know. I should have.
The Italian guy. He's actually pretty good.
He's very good. I like him.
Yeah. With the P, Picari.
Yeah, something with a P. I can't remember.
He's good.
Yellow or something. Yeah, he's very good.
Sometimes those European refs you feel are trigger happy, but I've watched games. I've actually enjoyed the games he's ref. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's going to be great. I mean, also, I love Munster. Munster were the original Irish team that we all knew was so good.
Yeah.
I love Peter. Actually, I mean, Sexton used to annoy me, like Peter Marnie as well. But actually, I appreciate it. I would love a guy like Peter Marnie in my team.
Well, that's he's like, for me, he's such a draw card when it comes to like a final, because he's one of those players who there are certain players that pitch up. And you look at, like, for example, if you look at some of the Ireland wins over the last couple of years, like when they beat New Zealand, and you look at some of the iconic wins.
It's always Omani.
Omani is always having an absolute blind in those sort of games.
Yeah.
So it's been like Stephen Colby, you know.
He's the line-out threat as well. He was taking ball off Weber last game.
So I think one of the most important players for Stormers this weekend is actually Marvin Orie. I think him coming back is going to be huge for them.
If he's got his head screwed on the right way.
In the last 12 months, even for Ireland and New Zealand, I've got a lot of memories of this Peter Marnie stepping up from a ruck and like just looking at a ref, and he's so like aggressive with players, but he's actually quite understated. Like if you in interviews and stuff, like you'd never think on the field he's an absolute savage.
Yeah.
Like in an interview like last week, he's like, guess we're going to Cape Town, eh? Let's do it.
Yeah. I love him. He's such a shit house. And I think the shit housery this weekend could be quite entertaining between Marvin Orie, between Dion Fourie, between Peter O'Mahony. I think there could be quite a lot of shit housery in and around it. And what I'm very keen
discipline's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and I'm very keen to then see
we got one of the most unhinged, hot-headed oak on the field, Evan Roos. You could get under Roos's skin and
imagine if they go off team, man.
I reckon that could be Peter O'Mahony's job. It's literally like, right, go and get that oak riled up. He does need to get a little bit.
I don't think Roos knows how to hold himself yet. I don't think he actually can. I think if he gets him right,
Yeah.
he's gonna throw a punch or tombstone you or kick you in the balls or something. Like he's too unhinged. He's
The
wild.
last
He's
couple
crazy.
of games, I've seen 2 occasions where he has had the opportunity to go and he has walked away. So I wonder if whilst he was injured, they were just sending to therapy, just saying, "We love the aggression, but just don't be
Woosa.
dumb. Just
calm
don't,
down.
yeah, just
Count
whoa.
to 10.
Once you've run him over, walk away. Like, it's not
But
hard.
there's so many. I think as new crowd, I also get my team that often it was always too late. That they would always do it, but it would always be, "I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir." But it was always going to happen, and it was always, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Some people just can't. They can't hold it back, you know.
Well, if
That would probably
That's
be a
gonna be
big
cracking.
tactic that they should do. I think in the last match, they actually tried to niggle Munster. And Munster is like, you cannot niggle that team. They are the masters of it.
Yeah.
With Omani there training the boys around him, I think they would have to go in like emotionless, just blank faced.
yeah.
Doesn't matter what you do. You can step on my foot. You can punch me in the scrum. I will not react. And you depower, I think, a lot of Munster's ability there. If you just
But the,
don't go
yeah,
into the
but
drink.
there's a lot of. I don't know what your guys' thoughts on. I've got a few friends that are like hell bent on. And I'm the same. Coaching is a lot. Is it the players you got and the players in the field that make you, or do you coach a team into something? But you could see the coaching in Munsters compared to 12 months ago and what's happening,
Yeah.
and it's the culture. And I mean, there's something I did. I mean, maybe I'm doing a bit of a disservice to Munster because some of their stats, how I was like, they have been playing well. I think maybe I do have my blue and white hoops glasses on, but they've been playing. I've enjoyed. A year ago, Munster were terrible. I just don't remember. Like I wouldn't even watch. I wouldn't watch them. But now I would actually sit down and watch a Munster game, no problem.
Yeah.
And that's great. That's good.
Well, I think it's gonna be a very cool final. I think also especially apparently about 2,000
Yeah,
Munster supporters who've come down, so quite cool to see that aspect of it as well. So if nothing else, it should be entertaining. And
It's also just nice to see besides Ulster and Leinster the last 10
Yeah.
years. And it's just nice to
Yeah.
see them up there now.
Even if the Stormers don't win it, just to have that change
Well,
in.
I would rather exactly. I'd rather it be Munster than actually anyone else in that top 8. That
Yeah.
if you are going to lose this weekend, I'd rather it be Munster than any of the other top 8 that made it.
yeah, well, fair
So
enough.
Mostly because they won't hold it over everyone
Yeah.
except Leinster. They'll just be like at Leinster.
Yeah,
we
they'll
got
leave
it
you
first.
alone. You'll be out the firing line. So right. Well, as always, we'll be live for that match. It will be myself on Saturday evening, and we'll have a lot of build up to that as well. So make sure you come and join us for that. Should be a really really cool weekend of sport. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me as always. And Chris, hopefully you made us a bit of money over the weekend because the rand is
Bring home the bacon.
the rand is plummeting at the moment, so we need it. That salary cap is basically actually going to be backwards by the time we get to October. It's going to be nothing.
Well, I wasn't. I heard the feedback, Stevie. We've been hitting a little 50-50s. I can see I've gone for it this weekend. I've gone for the bacon. Gone for the bacon and bacon sandwich, avocado sandwich. We're going for it.
There we go.
They get two of them. They're all going to win, and we're going to be smiling, and it'll be good.
Well, you heard it, Jeff, first. Chat, thank you very much. Enjoy the weekend of rugby. To everybody else, please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel. We had asked earlier if the Stormers are going to win, and 83% of people believe that they are. We also said, do you miss Newlands? Another poll, and I think 53% saying no, they don't actually really miss Newlands. So pretty close that one, to be fair. But yeah, thank you very much, everybody, and we will see you guys tomorrow evening for a bit of Curry Cup. I'll be live for Lions versus Western Province. A bit of a taster. It's basically the biggest game of Cape Town this weekend.
Ooh, that's a good one.
We didn't speak. Actually, wanted to speak. I wanted to speak about your Frankie Horn. I watched him last week, and he is a bloody player.
Yeah.
Yes, he's
no,
a
he's the
bugger.
best number 8 in South.
Yeah,
He's doing well.
Yeah.
I know he's got noticed.
No, he's going to be phenomenal in the top
He's
14
good.
or the Premiership or wherever he's playing next season.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, let's not talk about such
Yeah. Got to
dear.
end it up with that.
Yeah, cool.
But you're not beating Province on the weekend. You can cut that out. But
No, we
yeah,
are.
Frankie's a good player.
We're gonna hammer you guys,
If,
and
Yeah,
that's gonna be
well,
the thing I'll talk about next week. I'm not even gonna give you your joy if you win the URC. We're just gonna be talking about the Curry Cup and the fact that the Lions beat you.
I know. That's the old lady of our
well,
country. URC is
let's
some
be
Mickey
fair,
Mouse one.
guys. Our teams were horse crap last Curry Cup. We're doing both our teams have
Yeah.
improved a lot this Curry Cup. So
At least we've
that's
won
quite
games this year. Last year was like,
Yeah.
it was a
But you remember
hard-
you guys were basically putting up varsity cup sides at the end.
That's
there,
that's being
Yeah.
generous. We
Beating
basically playing a
Crickets
Craven
and-
Week side.
Yeah,
Dear. It's a mess.
parked up.
It's a mess.
Anyway, it's been
Right.
yeah,
and
no,
on-
I'm slowly getting back to the Curry Cup actually.
no, it's actually been quite
Because
cool
then,
this season.
The Griffins' attitudes. I like the Griffins' attitude. And
Well, look, after
it's
this
getting-
after this
yeah,
weekend,
I'm gonna watch the end of it now.
and after this weekend, there's basically no other rugby besides the Curry Cup. So we're all about to become Curry
Yeah.
Cup stands for the next sort of month until the international start. Curry Cup and then under 20
think-
start at the end of June.
Yeah, I'm sure that hopefully the fans will be interested in the final rounds and the knockouts.
Yeah.
Maybe
well,
there'll be 20 people at Ellis Park for the final
Yeah,
against
probably.
Province.
yeah, imagine that. Imagine the scenes.
Maybe-
Oh dear. Right, cool. Thanks, chaps. And everybody else, we will see you
Likewise.
guys next week, Thursday, same time, same place on the Rugby Fan Forum. A reminder, this is also available as a podcast on all your favorite platforms, Spotify, Amazon Music, the works. Go and give it a listen, share it with your mates, and as always, thank you very much, and see you soon.